really glad that you're all here. Want to go through all the presentations and everything that we want to discuss with you so that we can get to the food, which is the main reason we're here. Our food is fantastic. If you have not eaten at a Hardee's, we are a fast food restaurant. However, it's going to feel like you're at a sit-down restaurant. We make our biscuits from scratch every morning. I was just telling somebody that's the secret that we still don't have out in Chicago. We need your help. But we make our biscuits from scratch. We also now are making our bread from scratch. So later on, after you've eaten, I'll let you have a tour in the back, but we are actually proofing bread as we speak, and we'll be baking bread for tomorrow. But we also have fresh baked bread, fresh baked biscuits. Our chicken tenders are hand breaded. And we also have hand dipped shakes, which you'll see over here as well. So it's kind of an upscale fast food restaurant, and we're looking forward to getting to the food. So with that, I'm going to pass the microphone over to the chamber, and they're going to announce everybody that's here, and we're going to get on with the festivities, okay?
How you doing, everybody? My name is Jim Kerpel. I'm actually the executive director for the Wheeling and Prospect Heights Chamber of Commerce. So on behalf of the chamber, Lauren Vernick, current president, Jason Peng on the board, treasurer, Stacy Allen, vice president, Al Scaletta, past president, to be future president, Ross Swirling on the board, and also Mike Poots from MB Financial. And Ross is actually right from, Miriam Campbell from Buffalo Grove Bank and Trust, Ross from Super 8 Next Door Neighbors. Just like to welcome Hardee's to the community, getting you guys out in this neck of the woods. I most recently experienced Hardee's for the first time in St. Louis, and I'm sure it's going to be just as well.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending. Lower the mic. Okay. Thank you for attending what is a wonderful situation. You know, I can remember, and I hate to date myself, but in 1960, when Wilbur Hardee opened up his first store in North Carolina, someone help me, Greenville, North Carolina, hamburgers were, what do you think?
15 cents.
Well, you can't answer that question. Hamburgers were 15 cents, and cheeseburgers, by the way, were 20 cents. But what I liked most when I read about this in high school was that they had apple turnovers. You still have apple turnovers?
Absolutely. 2 for $1.
2 for $1. Okay. So Hardee's was a new concept then. 1960 to me seems like yesterday, and I'm sure most of you don't know what I'm talking about when I say yesterday. Yesterday to you is the 70s and the 80s, and I must tell you that this type of event, the purpose of it really, or the idea of it, is to welcome someone new to the community. When your neighbor or neighbor down the street moves in, you have a little party. You have the people in the neighborhood over, you have them welcome the new people living there, and you enjoy yourself by eating, drinking, or whatever, playing in the backyard with the kids. So that's what we're doing here today. The ribbon cutting, which we have a ribbon today, the ribbon cutting really signifies the opening of your door to someone that you want to have come in and be part of your new family. And Hardee's is part of our new family in the city of Prospect Heights. This store, I know, will be one of the most successful venues in our city. Hardee's has got a great name. They've always been known for a great product. And most of all, as I said to our chief of Hardee's, I'm sorry, tell me your name again. Tim Weigel. Well, you're not the newscaster, though.
Not the same guy. I don't have white shoes.
Yeah, and they probably don't remember Tim Weigel either, but his son is on the air. So we're welcome here. We're welcoming you and your crowd here, and we want to tell you that we wish you great success. So what we'd like to do, I think, is spread a ribbon and continue with the situation of welcoming our neighbor. You know, I'm most reminded of the people back here. Congratulations for joining Hardee's. Congratulations for being part of a really great company. So I always depend on the people in the field. There's only so much I can do sitting behind a desk in an office. And there's only so much Tim can do and his helpers here. The people that are really important are the people that do the job. And there's the people, give them a hand. These people are doing the job. So now I'm going to use the smallest scissor they could find for me and welcome, by opening the door, so to speak, to the new Hardee's in Prospect Heights. On 10, count to 10 by 1 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's great. Thank you for coming. Tim, your turn.
And one more thing I'll add is, you know, Hardee's is a chain, but we like to be known as a hometown restaurant. All these folks here live in the area, so we employ folks from the area. Our taxes obviously stay here locally, the ones that we pay. And Cameron's a Midwest guy, so he's used to the snow, and he'll be up around from time to time. But again, thank you guys very much for everything you do and future to make us successful here in the Chicagoland market. So thank you.
Ladies, you want to come up? We have a check presentation that are you the, come on, now I'm talking, you can come up. We'd have a check presentation for Shelter Inc. We like to give back to our communities everywhere we go. We're known as the Make It Happen family. Our franchisees are owned by Carl and Margaret Levesque and Jason Levesque, and they are the grandchildren of Carl Karcher, who founded CKE Restaurants. One of his very first books, if you have not had a chance to read it, is called Make It Happen, and we are known, and our restaurant group is known as the MIH family. So when we go from area to area, we always like to participate in the community and give back. So we have a check presentation for the Shelter Inc. For $500. It's a very worthy and very valuable contribution to the community, and we like to help them out. So congratulations. Absolutely.
Great.
You get to hold the microphone.
Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me. Shelter has been part of this community since 1975. We provide emergency and temporary housing for children who've been abused physically, sexually, emotionally, and can no longer stay at home. We service this area through 3 group homes for adolescent boys in Palatine, for adolescent girls in Schaumburg, and our TLP program, which is a longer-term program for 17 to 21-year-old boys to be able to plan for success and independence in their lives. We also have 3 networks of foster care, our emergency, our home of relative, and our traditional, the latter 2 being of a longer term. And we began in 1975, and the idea for a community-based agency that would care for our own Northwest suburban children and keep them right here in the community in their own schools came about by a man, and I don't know if anybody here will recognize the name, Paul Buchholz. He was then the juvenile probation officer in Arlington Heights, and he went on to become chief of police. And it was his vision and his dream that there would be an agency that would care for our own Northwest suburban kids and keep them here. And the first meeting he had, he invited everyone he knew, and he knew a lot of people. He wasn't disappointed that only 2 or 3 showed up. He said, if each of you bring 2 or 3 of your friends, we are going to have an effort that's going to snowball and benefit this community. By the time the agency was started in '75, that number was between 200 and 300 community folks who supported the idea of an agency like Shelter. We've also expanded into our Healthy Families program, where we partner with area hospitals, Northwest Community in Arlington Heights, Alexian Brothers in Elk Grove, and St. Alexis in Hoffman Estates, where we work with first-time at-risk parents and teach them how to build safe and secure environments for their babies. And most of the families and parents that come to us have themselves been victims of abuse, and abuse is one of those things that seems to perpetuate. And if you have a child, and as a child you were abused, that's probably the way that you're going to treat that child. We began our program in 1996, and we have added 3 hospitals, and we work with these hospitals through our caseworkers going in, and we do screenings of first-time parents, and we've reached a lot of people, and we've made a huge impact. So our services are needed. I wish they weren't. I wish we could be put out of business, but we have been part of the fabric of this community for a long time, and we so appreciate that you chose us as the recipient of your generous contribution.
You can have it for just a few moments till I trade you. Jason Levesque, who is our the big guy for our company, he is a former Marine, and so we always participate with the VFWs in every community that we go to. And I'd like to make a check presentation to the VFW for this area. Would you guys like to come up and get your picture taken, please? And thank you again for your service.
Yes. Anyway, I'd like to thank Hardee's for this wonderful donation to the American Legion, Post 208 in Arlington Heights. We are the color guard that's represented here, and we're very proud and pleased to be here. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Will I take this with me?
Yeah,
or-
I'll trade it for a real one later.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce our management team that's here locally. We're employing somewhere around 45 to 50 people. Eric is our general manager of the location. When he was hired with our company, he was commuting away from here somewhere else, and I won't say where he was working, but he said, I want to be in Prospect Heights. That's the store I want. So everybody's kind of going along and saying, and so this is where Eric wanted to be. This is what his home is, and we're glad to have Eric as part of our team. And I'll let Eric introduce the rest of his team.
Thanks, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome to Hardee's, where every day's a great day. Cameron is exactly right. I live just down the road in Wheeling, actually, about walking distance from the Park District. So it's not far from, I'm sure, all of you guys that live in the area. I'm very happy to be here. It's been a long road to get here, but it's been an enjoyable road. Started out with the company at very beginning of September and training at their Bolingbrook store, then going on helping them open up and still train at the Midlothian store as well as Elk Grove. And now we're here to this great day. So I'm going to take the shine off of me. I've got a great management team here. They are really top notch. This is Garrett. He is one of my assistants, as well as Jackie. She's going to be our second assistant here at this store. We have a shift supervisor in the back who's a little shy, but his name is Mike. He'll be one of our shift supervisors. Dorian as well, who's also in training for supervisor. And then I also want to take just a minute. I got to thank all these guys back here. They're the training team. Some of them are in from out of state. Others are in from downstate. We've got Curtis and Arminda, who transferred all the way up here from Arizona. She's great. This whole team is just great. So I think they deserve a round of applause.
Actually, Arminda is our regional vice president. She is in charge of all of Chicago area and has moved to Chicago for us. She has opened a whole bunch of restaurants.
28 now.
28 now. So we are we're looking at opening 35 restaurants in the Chicago market. And so this is number 4. And I love even numbers, so number 4 is going to be one of the best ones, because 4 is one of my favorite numbers. So looking forward to seeing. It is.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing you guys come back in and trying our food. And then we're getting ready to feed everybody. It's going to be thick burgers or thick burger cheeseburgers, depending on whether you want yours loaded or not loaded. And I would love to give you a chance to try that, but you've got to come back and try our breakfast. Our breakfast is phenomenal. That's what Hardee's was known for in the very beginning. It was your hometown restaurant with our fresh baked biscuits, biscuits and gravy. We just need to get the word out, and we're fast. I promise, we're fast. So if you could, one store we opened, someone made the comment that they could make the right turn at the light, come inside, go through the drive-thru, and get out and beat the light. So I'm saying we're fast. And if we're not, I'll give you my number and you can call me and I'll make sure we're fast. But you can get through our drive-thru in 2 minutes at breakfast time. So we are fast at breakfast. So it's worth the effort to pull off and give us a shot and really try our breakfast. Our burgers are, that's what CKE brought to the table when they purchased Hardee's, and our thick burgers, you're going to find out, are the best burger you've ever tasted. Or we've advertised on the Super Bowl when we first started with the thick burgers was, if it wasn't your best burger, you got your money back. I mean, you would think that there's people out there that would take advantage of that situation. Out of all the restaurants that I've run, there was only 2 customers that wanted their money back. Only 2. So maybe they had a bad day or maybe they needed their money back, but everybody else said it was the best burger they've ever had. So you're going to have that opportunity here in just a little bit. Did you have some more comments, sir?
You know, when you talk about a team, I have to tell you about my team. I don't want to forget them. Ann Marin is here, our city administrator. Come on up, Ann. Steve Schieber, our Director of Planning and Zoning. Pretty important guy to know. Steve Kataya, our Assistant Director over at Public Works. He's the guy that got all the snow plowed over the weekend. And you can never forget the guy with the money, Rich Tibbetts, our treasurer. And I think I've got them all, but Pat Coleman is our cinematographer. Is that the right word, by the way? He's the guy that films stuff. And you can see this on Prospect Heights, Channel 17. Who was the most important person or group on your TO&E? Who was the most important group in your division, in your squad, in your area, in your camp? Now tell me it wasn't the cook. Am I right? Coffee, donuts, and all that kind of stuff. So you see, it's that way here too. The most important people are all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.